Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast, the world's leading authority on childcare marketing, mindset, expansion, and profitability. Each episode will feature interviews with the brightest minds in the childcare industry to guide you into becoming a smarter business leader. Our hosts have opened 10 schools while raising 5 children. They are certified business coaches and are the top-selling childcare business book authors of all time. This episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. Let Childcare Genius Marketing help you get fully enrolled and fully staffed. Visit childcaregenius.com for more details. Let's welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast our hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre.
Episode 95 of the Childcare Genius Podcast.
We're your hosts, Brian and Carol Dupre. Thank you so much for joining us today. It is early May. Actually, this is going to air this episode, I believe, in mid-May. So summer is fast approaching, so we're excited about that. Our beautiful lake is starting to warm up, so we should be swimming in it maybe in June.
But at least we can go boating.
Yeah, we're just happy there's no ice out there, so that's a good thing. I wanted to let you know this episode is sponsored by Childcare Genius Marketing. We do all things marketing to help you fill your school and also get fully staffed. So go to childcaregenius.com/marketing, and we can help you grow your school. We do Google Ads, social advertising, social media marketing. We'll host your website. We'll build you a brand new website that's amazing, better than anything out there at a great price point. So check us out, and we're happy to. So that concludes our advertising for this episode, which keeps it free for you. So thank you to our sponsor, Childcare Genius Marketing. So today we have a guest on the podcast who I consider her a great friend. I met her many years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, at a conference in Nashville. My buddy Joel and I were at, and she just happened to come up to the booth we had and introduce herself and just, "Hi, Brian, I'm Amanda." And just something about her. She's just so sweet, and been coaching her ever since, off and on, for the last 5 or 6 years. And it's a great little story. And she's in a small town, Mayfield, Kentucky, which was destroyed by a tornado 5 or 6 years ago. The whole town was literally flattened. And she's lucky she got through that. And now she's got a nice little school in Mayfield, and a great person, and a great podcast interview. So I think you're going to enjoy it. So
let's get Amanda on the line. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to the Childcare Genius Podcast. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
And where are you calling in from?
Mayfield, Kentucky.
And you had a lot of bad weather down there recently.
Well, just typical, all the seasons in one day or 1 week.
I know we're in the middle of a tornado outbreak, and I know the Mayfield, Kentucky tornado a few years ago is probably on your mind. That was right in your town. That must make you nervous hearing a tornado siren, huh?
It sure does. It sure does. I've always been afraid of storms, but it amplified after December 21. So
never heard a tornado siren, never seen a tornado, and that's one of the things I'm proud about. Stay away from the West when it comes this time of year.
I'll take a snowstorm over a tornado.
For sure. Well, thanks for joining the podcast, Amanda. We've known you for a little while now, and I've been very impressed with what you've done with your school. And I said, you know what? I think you'd be a great podcast guest to come on and share your story a little bit, and maybe give some inspiration to somebody out there that wants to open a school. I know you did it young. You're still young, and you've been very successful at it. So can you tell our listeners a little bit more about your background, what your life was like before you started the childcare business, and a little bit about what your life is like now?
Okay. Well, I'm humbled that you asked me to do this. I don't feel qualified, but here I am. So my background is a little bit of everything. I thought I wanted to do physical therapy in college, and quickly changed my mind there. Few years of kind of bouncing between different jobs, and then I found myself in sales for 8.5 years, and I really enjoyed that. I was with a company that I planned to retire from. I had great benefits and excellent pay. But this opportunity came about with Mother Goose Academy. The previous owners decided that they were going to close. My son was going there, and we got a letter giving us a 7-day notice that we had to find alternative childcare options. So again, I was content with my career path, and my husband said, "Why don't we do it?" Very jokingly. And we kind of stewed it over, and I was like, you know what? I am in a good career path, but I'm also in sales, like making good money, but what am I really doing with my life? So it got me to reevaluate, am I changing people's lives with selling them internet and television service, or, can I make a difference with the little people and the young minds? So very long story short, we prayed about it, and we crunched some numbers, and the business did have to close for about a month and a half before we could reopen, get relicensed and everything. But yeah, here we are, 7.5 years, well, almost 8 years later.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Time flies, doesn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell our audience about your childcare center and why you're different from other centers in your area.
So like I said, we didn't have any previous experience other than sales. So we didn't really know a lot about the other centers, but we knew that they were all full. And everybody has their own niche, I guess, in their own towns. Like I say this all the time, like we're not really in competition. We are a community, and there's enough of us to go around, enough children, excuse me, to go around. But I think what sets us apart the most is our community involvement and our innovative approach to learning. So we service children from 6 weeks to preschool, and then we also have an after-school program. We use a diverse curriculum that the parents can get access to on an app, ProCare, which you guys are familiar with. We're the only one in our town that uses something like that. We also offer the security, or we're the only center that has cameras and a secure door entry, so only parents and approved pickups can get into our building. We also offer an indoor gross motor room. So if the weather's bad, like today, it's raining here, they can get out their wiggles and stuff in the indoor gross motor room if they can't go out to the playground.
Nice.
So do you remember the day you first met me? I remember I met you at ALL, right? I was just talking to somebody about that the other day. I remember you walking up and you said,
I remember it very well.
Yeah, me too. The only person I ever remember else meeting, because I think of everybody I met there, you're the only one I continue talking to down the road. And I remember your story when I first met you. Of course, that was probably about 5 years ago now, so it's been a while. You were newer in the childcare business. You've come a long way since. But to help our audience members out, what are some obstacles you face when trying to open your schools?
So, like I said, we didn't have any experience in the childcare world, but we brought on a lot of the existing staff from before. And what you get sometimes with existing staff is people set in old ways, and sometimes they're not on the same growth pattern that you are. So we had some learning curves with, I hate to use the word toxic, but just our values didn't align. We had people in place that we just didn't have the same goals. So we parted ways, and, we still had process and procedures that we had to perfect. But overall, it was just learning how to get into those systems and procedures and how to implement those and perfect, not try to reinvent the wheel, I guess.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of challenges when you first start your business.
For sure.
Yeah. Don't you wish if you ever had to go back and do it over again? I'm sure you'd probably do things a little differently. Actually, I'm going to save that to the last question. I'm going to ask you, so you might want to ponder it a little bit. If you can go back in time 8 years and change one or two little tweaks from their first center, what would you change? So ponder that for a little bit.
Amanda, how has coaching helped you grow your business?
Well, I definitely would have to say it has made me rethink my mindset, which was number one. That was my number one problem, excuse me. I just, I don't know, fear of failure, all of those things going through your head, like, your past mistakes and things like that. People were like, she doesn't even like kids. Why is she doing this? And to clarify that, I love children. I just didn't have any whenever I had children later in life. So, I guess people assumed I didn't like children, but, so yeah, I guess just getting my mindset right and learning all of the processes and procedures. You guys share tons of resources from apps to systems that you have in place, and I don't have to reinvent the wheel. They're there.
Sure. So where are you headed? Where do you see yourself 3 years from now? And what are some of your long-term goals?
Not to give too much away, because what's the saying? If you're not supposed to tell your plans to your competitors. But definitely expansion. We definitely want to expand. We turn people away daily. Before I left the office this morning, there was a family of 3 needing care, and our next opening is in August of 2025.
Wow.
So, we could fill up at least another full center, is what we have now. But that's definitely in the cards. The expansion in our town, possibly another town, but we get asked quite a bit to expand in the communities near us.
That's awesome. And you attended our Leverage conference in Jamaica last year, and our CCG Live conference that we just had in Las Vegas. And what did you get out of each conference?
Well, like Brian mentioned, I met him several years ago, so I'm not new to coaching or new to conferences, but I get something out of every single conference that I've been to. I don't know if it was the biggest takeaway, but the biggest takeaway at that point, like we've said before, sometimes you hear things and you're not ready to hear them. But this time I was ready to hear this particular thing, and that is working with your spouse. Although he's a co-owner, my husband's not really involved in the day-to-day operations. He's more of the handyman type thing, behind the scenes kind of stuff. But our goal is to eventually have him work with us in the center. So, having clear lanes and having clear roles would be an adjustment, having us work together. I'm an only child, and I'm kind of set in my ways about a lot of things, but, having us live together and work together, not everybody can do that. And you guys kind of lay it out there, and you've perfected it. So, that's what we're looking for, is a way to work together. And you guys showed us how to do that in Jamaica with some good takeaways.
Yeah.
So here's that magic question. Go back in time. As you'd say, go back in time. 8 years. First center. You could get one do-over on one little thing. What would you do over?
Start coaching sooner. Did anybody else say
start coaching sooner?
Oh, sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I didn't have a good mindset. I knew I had a passion and I wanted to make a difference, but having a stronger backbone and being a better leader, 95% of the stuff I do on a daily basis is stuff I learned through coaching. The other 5% is just stuff I was doing before and hadn't messed up yet, I guess. But yeah, just finding somebody to coach me sooner, so I didn't make all of those mistakes in the beginning.
That's exactly, if I can go back 25 years, that's exactly what I would have done too. It's just, you don't know what you don't know. And, I had to do for 17 years, I had to do it on my own, make my own mistakes, figure things out, lose a lot of money making dumb mistakes.
We didn't even know there was such a thing as childcare coaching.
No. So the pioneers, I thank God for them. I wouldn't be where I am today, but the pioneers that led that path in the coaching world. And but yes, you don't know what you don't know. And sometimes it's not about making the right decision. Sometimes it's avoiding the wrong decisions. That's just as important. And not doing something sometimes is better than doing something. Not buying a school that you wanted to buy sometimes is a blessing that when it falls through, because it would have hurt you financially. So sometimes sometimes knowledge is power, and you don't know what you don't know. And that's where coaching fills that gap. So
And it's
appreciate
better.
the kind words.
It's better to learn from somebody else's mistake.
And we always tell people, we said it on a stage from our conference, whether you use us as coaching, or there's plenty of other
Right.
great coaching and organizations out there,
Yeah.
just find somebody to help you.
Yeah.
We're good, but there's other ones that are I'd say just as good as us out there. So I don't say I'm better than anybody. I just say find somebody to help you and make you better than yourself.
Yeah.
There's power in synergy, and mastermind. When there's two people together, there's power of unity in that mastermind concept. So thank you for the kind words. Any other pearls of wisdom you want to share with our audience?
No, you were talking about finding a coach. Like I'll never forget this moment. We talked about when we met. So about a week or two before I went to that NACCE conference, I had told my husband that a very successful friend of ours, he's an auctioneer, real estate auctioneer, very, very successful. He was promoting his business coach. And I remember looking at him in the living room. I said, if Jay needs a business coach and he's this successful, we need somebody. And his words were, and you've heard them before because you've met Larry, we can't afford it. And I was like, we can't afford not to do this. And then I was like a week or two later, I met you in Nashville. And I know the distraught look on my face. I was that person getting all the brochures. My bag was so heavy from everything. And I met you and I called him immediately from the hotel room. And I was like, we got to do this. This is God. Like I had been talking about coaching, and then I ran into you, like childcare specific. Like you said, I didn't even know there were childcare specific coaches. Just thought there were these $3,000 a month general coaches.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, that was.
Manny, you just made my day. I appreciate those kind words. And do you know why I remember you the most? Because nobody in my life had ever called me Brian before. So it resonated with me because you're the first time until I met Alyssa. Now I'm Brian for Alyssa as well. But you're the first person to ever use my name like that. And I'll never forget meeting you. So you gave an impression. And I'm glad we've been great friends. And I've been coaching you for many years since. And I can't wait to see big things happening, and love your husband too. He's a great guy, and love hanging out with him in the pool in Jamaica. He's a fun guy to hang around with. So hold on to him, and we'll get that school advanced, and we're gonna do great things together.
For sure.
Thank you.
Well,
so
thanks
much
for coming on the
having me.
podcast today. Go stay safe in the weather, and we'll see you in a couple months on a beautiful beach in Jamaica at our Leverage conference. And if you want to meet Amanda and share your story with her, she's glad to hear it as well. So we'll see everybody at the Leverage Conference in Jamaica. Have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Good interview.
Very good interview.
I like her. She's just so sweet.
And
very coachable. Sometimes when you coach somebody, sometimes they don't listen like they should. Amanda's a great listener. She acts on things. She's always strategizing with me, talking about ideas, how to grow, and her mind never stops. She's got a really good business mind. And her husband Larry's a great guy. We've become good friends, and she's just a great person. So I hope you enjoyed the interview with her. We try to have guests on that you could relate with, that are just average people, that they're doing above average things. We're all just childcare center owners, just trying to survive in today's world. And sometimes just something somebody says will resonate with somebody out there. And that's our thought and our prayer, that, we have a guest on that may resonate with one person or two people that says, you know what, if they could do it, I could do it too. And if she could do it with that Southern accent, I could do it. She's from Kentucky, I'm from Kentucky, I could do that too. So there's something's going to resonate with some guests we have on.
Or she could do it with absolutely no experience.
Exactly.
And comes from a business background, sales
Which-
background. So
which I've coached many
Yeah.
people with zero. I've helped lawyers get out of lawyering. I've helped doctors get out of doctoring. Retired a lot of people out of a lot of professions, pharmacists, engineers. We've coached people right out of their full-time jobs and right into full-time childcare ownership, which is much more profitable than any doctor out there or any lawyer. Childcare owners make much more than any lawyer or doctor that I know, at least the people I coach do.
and not only that, you're your own boss.
Know what?
You're your own boss.
No boss. You know what a boss is? Double SOB spelled backwards, right? It's double SOB, right? Unless you're the boss, unless you're childcare owners, then you're not that way, right? I'm just kidding. But who doesn't want to be their own boss? But if we can help you in your childcare business, we'd like to. You know, if you're a center owner and you're struggling, and there's some area that we can help you with, we'll give you a free coaching call. Just hop onto our website, childcaregenius.com, go to the coaching tab and say, you know what, I'd like a free coaching call. Again, it's for center owners only. And you're going to get on with either me or one of my certified coaches for a 30 to 45-minute call. Just going to help you strategize in any area that you're struggling in, give you a couple concrete ideas, at least send you on the right path. And that's what we're looking forward to, is to just help you course correct and get on the right trajectory for your business to get unstuck. There's a lot of people out there that are stuck right now. So this concludes episode 95 of the Childcare Genius podcast. Thank you for allowing us into your homes or into your car or on the treadmill, wherever you're listening to us today.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you won't miss a future episode of the Childcare Genius podcast. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Childcare Genius podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please do us a favor and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a future episode. Don't forget to visit our website at childcaregenius.com to see a list of services we offer to help grow your childcare business. Until next time, thank you for being a part of the Childcare Genius community.